Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're taking a look at Thermaltake's Toughpower SFX 850w power supply. And for jeepers, it's tiny. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we're taking a look at Thermaltake's Toughpower SFX 850w power supply. This is new from their TT Premium Edition range, and this is a gold rated power supply, which is in the ATX form factor, or SFX, depending how you want to look at it. Essentially, this is for your tiny little builds, but just because your build is tiny doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a low wattage power supply. This is available in 750, 850 or 1000 watt versions. So if your tiny little ATX build needs a little bit of extra juice, then this is certainly worth taking a look at. So today we're going to go through, do an unboxing, see what it's all about, go through some of the features, and then at the end of the video you can make up your own minds whether it's suitable for you. Sadly, I don't have the technology on hand to be able to test this and give it a full, thorough review, but certainly we'll try and touch bases where we can. So first of all, it's designed with native PCIe Express Gen 5 compatibility, and also meets and also exceeds Intel's ATX 3.0 standards. It comes as standard with a 12 plus 4 pin or 16 pin H-power or high power connector. Straight away you can connect up your NVIDIA graphics card should you have one of those on hand, be it a RTX 4090, 4080, 4070 Ti, etc, whatever the naming conventions are when you're actually looking at building your system, but certainly it is ready for them, and hopefully as time goes on, other manufacturers will probably be adopting that power supply technology. So yeah, it's kind of looking towards the future a little bit. So like I said earlier, this has a 80 plus gold rating from Cybernetics, and also comes with a full 7-year warranty, which is pretty awesome. It also comes with 100% 105C Japanese caps, courtesy of Nippon Chemicon, and comes in with some ridiculously tiny dimensions. Now you'll probably see some B-roll at the moment with a processor box as something a scale, so it's slightly smaller than a Ryzen 9 box, but a little bit bigger than a Intel i5 box, if that's anything to go by. The actual measurements of the unit are 125mm wide by 100mm deep and 63.5mm high. That 0.5 makes all the difference, believe me. Because it's a little bit smaller, also a little bit quieter, or you'd think so, this is coming with a 92mm fluid dynamic bearing, so it's going to keep nice and cool, and they do have a stated maximum noise level of 29.8 dB. Now obviously if you're in any normal room or any environment with a computer or just life in general, normally it's going to be somewhere around the 30 decibel mark, so effectively this is going to be silent both in use and when it's idling. When it is idling at anywhere below 30% of the power usage, the fan is going to be completely stopped, silent. It also comes with a low ripple design, so we're looking at less than 30 millivolts of ripple, and also when it comes to voltage regulation, they claim a less than 2% voltage deviation, so that is an extremely strict voltage regulation. So taking a look at the actual unit itself, as you see, it's absolutely tiny, it is ridiculous. It is basically the best part of 1000 watts in the palm of your hand, which is insane. And actually it is almost 1000 watts, because even though it does say that it's 850 watts, that is just the 12 volt rail. So if we take a look at the actual voltages, you can see there, I'll put it up on the screen larger for you. It's 849.6 watts actually on the 12 volt rail, which is equivalent to around about 71 amps. And then you've got another 100 watts on the 3.5 and the 5 volt rails. So you're looking at the best part of 950 watts here. Is absolutely insane for this actual size. And of course, having that amount of wattage on hand means you can connect up an absolute ton of things. So on the back you have got your fully modular design, so you have got options for 3 peripheral connections on there. We'll go through the cabling a little bit later on. You've also got a set of 3 PCIe or CPU connectors, and you've also got the 12 volt high power as well, which is that really special connection. And then you've got your 24 pin power supply on there as well. But all that fits in this really tiny little package. I really love it. And also something that they thought about, obviously if you're spending a lot of money on a system, there's a chance that you're going to be displaying it in some way. So on this side, you've got the sticker in the right way. So if you're mounting it fan side up, or alternatively, if you're mounting it fan down, then you can turn it around and you've got this sticker facing the right way. So you can show off your Toughpower branding. On the back, pretty much usual deal. Got nice honeycomb mesh there to let some of that hot air out when the fan is actually spinning. Got a regular power connector, so no specialist connections needed. And there is a very nice little rocker switch there, which feels actually extremely high quality. It's so cute, I love it. But something there isn't on here is a eco mode for the fan. That is kind of taken care of by itself thermally. So like I said, when it's under 30% of the load, then the fan will be completely silent and stopped, and there's a gradual ramp up to around about 30 decibels when it's under full load, which I think is absolutely incredible. Anyway, let's take a look at the cabling and see what all that is about. So when it comes to cabling, it's usual stuff. So we've got 16 gauge cabling throughout, from what I can tell from reading on there, although it is in very small print, although Thermaltake UK have assured me that is the case. So you've got your 24-pin power connector, which does have the section on the end, so you can remove it if you've only got a 20-pin. Very unlikely, but you never know. And I'll put the lengths on the bottom of the screen so you can see how long these cables are. Obviously, they are going to be a little bit shorter than your traditional ATX cases, because obviously they are designed for SFX or ITX builds, so they are shorter in general. If for some reason you do need longer cables, you can get extensions and you can get replacement cables made up should you need to. When it comes to powering your motherboard and actually giving your CPU a little bit of extra juice should you need it, this is actually something that surprised me. This does come with dual 8-pin CPU EPS connectors, which both of which can be split into the 4-pin. So if you've got a motherboard that has a 4 plus 4 plus an additional 4, you can use that or combinations thereof. But it's nice to see that there's 2 cables included out of the box. Next up, we've got the PCIe graphics card connections. Now, this is actually something which I feel is a little bit of a letdown in this particular model, is the fact that there are only 2 connections. So we've got a 6+2 and another 6+2, which is pigtailed off of there. I'm guessing because this is designed for the ATX new standard 3.0 and also PCI Express Gen 5, then they're kind of thinking that most people probably won't be using these connectors anymore, which is probably going to be the case because you do also get the new style HP 12-volt connector, which is the 16-pin or 12+4, however you want to look at it, which has the data channel in there, which sends information from the graphics card back to the power supply and talks about deviations from power limits, all that kind of thing. It says on there it's rated for 450 watts. We kind of know with that potentially you could reach up, basically double that because of how power deviations work. So effectively this could draw 900 watts and not destroy itself, although I probably wouldn't like to be around when that happens, but certainly it's a really cool cable, again, really strong and braided as well to protect it a little bit should it need it. Going back to some of the more boring connectors, so we do have our SATA connections. So you've got 2 SATA cables, both of which have 4 SATA ports on each. So you could connect up to 8 drives, although again, realistically, being this is for SFX or ITX builds, it's unlikely you're going to need 8 connections for SATA. It would have been nice to have maybe just one of these and possibly an extra PCI Express one for those extra connections on some other graphics cards, but I suppose it swings and roundabouts. Last of all, when it comes to your peripheral connections, again, if you're doing an ITX build, you're unlikely, I would have thought, to use some sort of custom water cooling. Maybe you are, but you do have Molex or 4-pin style connections there, should you need to. I think these really are more included because of Thermaltake and how they work with their fan controllers and some of their hubs, etc., which do rely on a floppy drive style connector, which handily they also include as well. So that is adapted from a 4-pin Molex. So then you can power things up like your Tough fans or SWA fans if you're using their integrated hub. Something I haven't done yet actually is the kind of the unboxing process, but you can kind of get the idea. It's a power supply box. It does tell you about what's going on there. PCI Express Gen 5, ATX 3.0, Smart Zero fan, as we've discussed already, 100% Japanese capacitors, and a 7-year warranty. On the side, kind of more of the same, and on the back of the box it gives you some of the information about the low voltage ripples and strict voltage regulation, etc., and the 80+ gold rating, all that kind of stuff. Power connectors, all the usual type of thing. But what you do get inside actually, which is quite a novel thing, well, I say novel, it's a nice thing to have, is actually an adapter. So if you decide that you've invested your money into this power supply and you're thinking in a couple of years time, actually, I don't really like this ITX build anymore, I want to do an ATX build, don't worry, Thermaltake got you covered. There is a SFX to ATX bracket included, so you can attach that to the back and put this into a regular ATX case should you wish to, which I think is a pretty cool thing to do. You also get warranty information and also a booklet telling you about the connectors, where they all go, and how to basically build a PC. So I think that is pretty much it. That is everything you need to know about the Thermaltake Toughpower SFX 850W. Don't forget, if you don't want the 850W, you want something a little bit lower, then they do a 750, and if you want something a little bit better, then they do a 1000-watt version as well. When it comes to pricing, realistically, if you're building an ITX box and you're worried about how much your power supply costs, and you're looking at a PCI Express Gen 5 graphics card connection, then you're asking the wrong questions. But for those of you wondering, the retail price of this, the estimated retail price on launch, is in the UK somewhere in the region of about £180. I'll put some links in the video description so you can check out local pricing. I'll put Amazon affiliate links as well should you wish to use those, or you can use some UK retailers. Probably linking to Scan. I think they're the people that are keeping these in stock at present, so feel free to check out those links and the current pricing. You never know, they may have gone down a little bit, although unlikely. The way things are at the moment, it's probably gone up. But anyway, I think it's going to pretty much wrap things up. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, smash the like button. If you've got any comments or questions, you know where to stick them in the comment section below. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.